Alright, get comfortable. Put down your warm beers and turn off that blasted Thai soap opera for a minute. I have a tale to tell you that will make you appreciate the comfortable air-conditioned room or bar you are probably sitting in right now. Picture this. It is the 18th century and Southeast Asia is about as organised as a night market during monsoon season. We have two blokes, each trying to wrangle their respective countries into something resembling order. In one corner we have King Taksin of Thailand, or Siam as it was known back then. In the other, Emperor Mang of Vietnam. Both had the inevitable task of unifying a bunch of ethnic groups who would rather eat durian than play nice with each other. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, great, another history lesson from the old Farang who cannot even pronounce Sawadee crap properly. Nevertheless, stick with me, because this story has more twists than a plate of pad thai. Let us start with our man, Taksin. Picture a Thai version of Napoleon, but with better food and fewer delusions about conquering Russia. Taksin came to power in 1767, right after the Burmese had turned Ayutthaya into a lovely pile of rubble. The country was in more pieces than a smashed Buddha statue, and Taksin had to put it back together. He looked at the mess around him and thought, right, time to channel my inner Asian tiger. What's more, oh boy, did he roar. Taksin went on a unification spree that would make a wedding planner jealous. He gathered up the scattered Thai kingdoms faster than you could say tuk-tuk, and before anyone knew it, he had cobbled together something resembling a country. However, here is where it gets interesting, my friends. Taksin was not just interested in the ethnic Thai. Oh no, he was an equal opportunity unifier. He looked at the Chinese immigrants, the Lao people, even the Muslims in the south, and said, "You are all Thai now." Surprise. His policy was simple. Join my big happy Thai family, or I will introduce you to the business end of my sword. Charming, eh? Nevertheless, you know what? It worked. Sort of. He managed to create a sense of Thainess that transcended ethnic boundaries. It was as if he had invented the world's first multicultural blender and tossed everyone in it. Now, let us hop over to Vietnam, where Emperor Minh was playing a similar game, but with a bit more, shall we say, panache. Minh came to power in 1820, about 50 years after Taksin had shuffled off this mortal coil. However, he faced a similar challenge, a country more divided than a Bangkok taxi driver's attention in rush hour. Minh looked at Vietnam's ethnic tapestry and thought, needs more beige. His grand plan turned everyone into a proper Confucian Vietnamese. It was as if he was trying to run a countrywide charm school, but instead of teaching etiquette, he was pushing an entire cultural makeover. He introduced a policy called Vietnamization. Sounds fancy, does it not? In reality, it was about as subtle as a durian into the face. He forced the ethnic minorities to adopt Kin, which is ethnic Vietnamese to you and me, names, dress, and customs. It was as if he was trying to stuff everyone in the same ale day, regardless of whether it fit or not. However, here is where Minh and Taksin differed. While Taksin was content to let people keep their customs as long as they pledged loyalty, Minh was more of a my way or the highway kind of emperor. Moreover, by highway I mean remote mountainous region where we will pretend you do not exist. Now, you might be wondering, did any of this actually work? Well, That is where our tale takes a turn more surprising than finding out your somtam has no chili in it. Taksin's approach, brutal as it was, laid the groundwork for a Thai identity that is still kicking today. Walk down Sukhumvit Road and you will see people from all sorts of backgrounds proudly calling themselves Thai. Of course, it is not all suntan and sunshine. The South still has its issues, but overall, not a bad legacy for a man who ended up being deposed and possibly going mad. Nevertheless, hey, who amongst us has not gone a little cuckoo in Bangkok traffic, eh? Minh, on the other hand, well, let us just say his plan went over about as well as trying to sell pork dumplings at a Muslim food stall. The ethnic minorities in Vietnam resisted, and some are still resisting to this day. Turns out people do not much like being told their entire culture is wrong and needs a makeover. Who knew? However, here is the kicker, my friends. Both of these rulers, for all their faults, and boy did they have faults, were trying to solve a problem we are still grappling with today. How do you create a national identity in a diverse country? Taksin, come one, come all, just don't rebel approach versus Ming's conform or else strategy represents two ends of a spectrum that modern nations are still trying to navigate. It is as if they were early beta testers for multiculturalism, with all the bugs and glitches that implies. Therefore, next time you are sipping coconut on a beach in Phuket or slurping pho in Hanoi, a traditional Vietnamese noodle soup, spare a thought for old Taksin and Minh. They may not have gotten everything right, but without them, Southeast Asia might have ended up looking very different. Besides, who knows? Maybe that papaya salad you are enjoying is a distant fruit of Taksin's labours. In the end, what we can learn from these two tigers of Southeast Asian history. Perhaps it is that building a nation is a bit like making a good curry. You need the right blend of ingredients, a careful balance of flavours, and the wisdom to know that sometimes it is okay to let each spice shine on its own. Therefore, with that, my friends, I will leave you to ponder these weighty matters. I have a date with a cold drink and a sunset that waits for no man, not even a grumpy old Englishman with too many stories and not enough listeners or viewers. Therefore, if you manage to get this far, please hit the like button, leave me a comment, share the video, or even subscribe to the channel, and hopefully it will increase my viewing figures and make this old man happy. Take care, and do not forget to tip your tuk-tuk driver. Bye bye.